What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one was played at the IEM in Katowice and was one of the quarterfinal games of that tournament, spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of Port Alexander LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He goes by the name of none other than Solar. And his opponent spawning the top left-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's one of my favorite StarCraft 2 pro gamers of all time. I absolutely love watching this guy with the Zerg pieces. His name is Dark. So guys and girls, this series and this game in particular were played at, as I said, the IEM in Katowice was one of the quarterfinals of that tournament, so the round of 8, and this, you know, as a best of 5, all of these games do matter in the grand scheme of things. They're very important to win these early matches, and you know, in the early stages of the game, you want to kind of see exactly what your opponent's going to be doing, of course, because you know this first game they're going to try to get kind of a feel for one another and what each other, you know, they want to set the tone for the series, of course, and so. I gotta say, guys, the games I've casted so far of the IEM in Katowice have been absolutely incredible. Such a fun tournament, to say the least, and I'm excited to see what these two players, you know, what happens here, because it's a ZvZ matchup. Usually these games tend to get extremely intense very quickly, and so we'll have to see how it kind of turns out here as we're approaching that 2-minute mark already. And I've been continuing talking without even explaining what each player is deciding to do here in the early stages of the game. It looks like a hatch gas pool opener out of Solar. On the opposite side of the map, it does look like Dark decided to get that early hatchery. He's doing the hatch gas pool opener, but going for a quick third hatchery as of right now. I wonder if we're going to see Solar doing something similar here shortly. He is getting some Zerglings out, so he is deciding to, instead of expanding super quickly on that third, to get a third hatchery, he's going ahead and just going to start macroing up a, you know, some drones to start mining, of course, getting some early Zerglings out and some queens. Does look like that third base is going to be going down here shortly, a little bit later than that of Dark, because Dark's is already finished up, but there are going to be some Zerglings that are going to start moving across the map. So yeah, I have this has been an intense tournament so far, guys, that as I've been casting these games. Lots of fun for sure. It does look like these Zerglings are going to try to start targeting down those Zergling cocoons. It looks like Dark is going to have to move off from that third hatchery, at least for the time being. And it does look like, I do got to say, those skins on these Zerg units is absolutely insane. It like looks so sick from the war chest. Does look like the follow-up here is going to be a Baneling nest out of both players. We are going to see that metabolic boost upgrade coming in for the Zerglings, which of course is the Zergling speed upgrade. But as I said, this is a matchup that can just turns into, you know, you can have a macro-focused game, but there's a lot of times just so much that's happening all across the map. And sometimes it's actually extremely difficult to keep track of everything. But that said, we are going to see the Baneling nests are going to be finished. It looks like we're going to see an evolution chamber coming in here for Solar. And usually what you'll see is, you know, Zerglings, Banelings, and then a lot of times Roaches, or, you know, you move into the lair units and you start getting the Hydras out. So really, these interesting compositions that come into play when you're talking about the ZvZ matchup, a very exciting one to say the least. And I really do enjoy it. I know a lot of people don't like ZvZ or watching it. I absolutely love it because there's just so much strategy that goes into it. But to say the least, it looks like Dark is going to start moving down. It looks like he is going to get a surround on one of these queens at the third base location. Looks like that queen is going to go down, and he's going to retreat after that. Banelings are out. You got to be very careful with those Baneling hits. You do not want to take a crippling amount of damage here. Nice target firing down there. Does look like all that said and done, looks like Solar is probably going to be able to hold off here, at least for the time being. A couple more Banelings are going to be coming in now for Dark. And the action's really happening at Solar's third base. Here we go. Those Banelings are going to try to get some connections. Nice connection there on that last Baneling of Dark. And it really comes down to a lot of micro out of these Zerglings and the Zerg units. You just got to really... It's a very complex ordeal as we see Dark transitioning into the Roach Warren. And on the opposite side of the map, though, something that we got to keep track of is the Spire is going to be coming in out of Solar. So Solar is getting the Spire, whereas Dark is going for more ground-based units. And this might get interesting here because it might throw Dark a little bit off guard here. As we continue here, it looks like we are going to see the lair coming in now for Dark, and we're also going to see the evolution chamber finishing up there for him as well. So lots of jawing back and forth, and that's what this matchup is all about. Just lots of things happening all across the map. Not as of yet, but there is still action happening at this third hatchery of Solar. And it looks like Dark is just trying to find an angle, not really getting anything, you know, crazy done as of yet. But it does look like we are going to start seeing the roaches coming out for Dark. And I wonder if he's going to go into, you know, the Zerg, the Ling Roach Ravager composition here, as that lair is going to be finishing up here shortly. Queens are here for that defense as well, as it seems like Solar wants to start pressuring this third hatchery of Dark. He is going to back off, at least for the time being. We are going to see 6-8 now. 8 of those Mutalisks on the production tab currently. And the thing is I don't know if Dark knows about this, about the Spire or anything. He may very well get completely thrown off guard here. And this could do a little bit of some damage for sure. There's no Spore Crawlers anywhere. Dark has no idea that this is coming. Absolutely brilliant decision making. Now we are going to see now these the Mutalisks are going after one of those Overlords, so it does seem like Dark does know as of now that there are Mutalisks out on the playing field, and it looks like he is going to immediately start those Spore Crawlers. So nonetheless, we are going to see more and more Mutalisks being added to the mix there. And at this point, it looks like we are going to see, I think I just saw, did I just think I see what I just saw, and that is the Nidus network, and it looks like a beautiful scout there by Solar. But the thing is here we go. The Nidus Worm's going to be coming in near this third base location, and it does look like the Zerglings are already over at this location, and the Queens are out. Here we go. It does look like the Queens are completely out, are going to be able to transfuse that Nidus Worm, and this is where it's going to get absolutely insane, because there is going to be things happening all over the map as another Nidus is going to be started here, and it looks like there are going to be Zerglings in the main base location, and it looks like right now we are going to see Spore Crawlers coming in. And then on top of that, roaches are going to be coming in as well. There's a lot of mutas here, and those mutas can do absolutely so much damage, at least at this point. So it's going to be very interesting now. What are you going to do? As we see on the upside of the map, Solar is trying to get into that natural base location. They are going to make their way down to that third base location. There's just things happening all over, and this is what I love about the ZvZ matchup game number 1 at the IEM Katowice. It is going to be what I think an intense matchup between these two. Here we go. Transfuses are coming in. A lot of this is very risky by Solar, trying to take on all of these Queens. A lot of those units are starting to go down. The transfuses are coming in. Oh, man. And now the spores are moving down. Dark is trying to take a quick lead here. As we approach that 9-minute mark, they're moving towards that third base location, and it looks like, just like that, Dark is going to take over that third base location, but at the same time, Solar is trying to counterattack and doing as much damage as he can at the third base as well. Lots of action is still happening over to that third base. That third base is pretty much definitely going to go down. Looks like Solar is going to sacrifice it. The transfuses are going to be coming in. It looks like it's all about the strength in numbers as those Spore Crawlers are starting to move. A lot of these Queens are going down at this point, and if they do, it looks like they are going to go down. Solar is able to get as much damage done there to all those Queens. Beautiful play. There's still action happening on Dark side of the map. There's a lot of action. There's still a lot of mutas, though, and these mutas could be the tail of the tape, at least for the time being. Even though Dark is ahead of the supply, I just don't know. There are spine crawlers out as well. How are you going to be able to really push into this? It looks like more and more queens are going to be coming into the mix here. A lot more roaches are coming as well. And here we go. It does look like queens are going to be going after those mutalisks. The mutalisks are trying to do as much damage as possible. The spore crawlers are going to help with that pressure as here comes the GG, and Dark takes a 1-0 lead over Solar with consistent aggression, a beautiful Nidus network push there, and Solar was not able to hold on against the swarm of Dark. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Dark and Solar, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll talk to you guys all in game number 2. Alrighty everyone, well game number 2 in this best of 5 series finds us on New Repugnancy LE. Spawning here in the bottom left hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is Solar. And his opponent spawning in cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently up in the series and wants to keep it rolling in his favor. His name is Dark. So guys and girls, this series has been, this series so far has been very exciting on both sides. There's been moments where it's felt like both players had chances of taking, a 1-0 lead, and Dark just the Nidus Worm rush, or not really rush, but more so the Nidus network transition is really what was the tail of the tape there. Solar almost had an opportunity there with all those mutalisks that he had accumulated, but just Dark consistently kept pushing and was able to out micro his opponent. Now early on here, we're going to see Solar going for a very quick spawning pool, so we're going to see some Zerglings popping up across the map. We are going to see a drone that is making his way across the map. He is on the opposite side. It does look like a hatchery is going to go down here. This is very interesting. We are going to see a spine crawler going down, and this is very interesting. So he canceled the hatchery, then he puts down a spine crawler. Now the thing is Dark has no idea that this is coming, so this could completely throw Dark off a little bit. And here we go. Dark has no idea about this. We are going to see Dark now sees that there is a spine crawler that is down, and that spine crawler is going to be able to do some damage here shortly, as there is Zerglings and drones that pulled off the cheeky move by Solar. Here we go. We're going to see a spine crawler that's going to be coming in. It's all going to come down to the micro here for both these players, and this is something that you do not see every day at the highest level of play. IEM Katowice, can Solar tie this thing up, as there is a bunch of drones going at it as well as Zerglings. Oh my god, this spine crawler is going to be finishing up very shortly here for Dark. If he can hold on, it could be absolutely a GG scenario, but there is a lot of Zerglings out. He does get the kill on that spine crawler, and now the queen is being target fired down. So many drones are under pressure at this point. The spine crawler is going down for Solar. Oh, this is painful to watch, as Solar could very well tie this series up. He's in a great position as more and more Zerglings are going to be joining the fight. Here we go. Dark really does not have many options here, as more Zerglings are joining the fight. So many drones are going down. Zerglings, it all comes down to the micro here, and this spine crawler is starting to do a good amount of damage. Here we go. That queen is trying to get trapped. Solar is trying to trap that queen, is not able to do so. Oh my god, how is this going to finish up? Solar is trying to do as much damage as possible here, and just so much damage is being dealt. I mean, really, when you look at it, that spine crawler is going to be going down, trying to block off. GG is called, and Dark, once again, off of some very, very cheesy play by Solar, is able to take a quick 2-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Solar and Dark, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 3. Alrighty everyone, well game number 3 in this best of 5 series finds us on King's Cove LE. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to close out this series right here and right now. His name is Dark. And his opponent spawning in the top left hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of this series just yet. His name is Solar. So guys and girls, this series has been very interesting so far. So we had game number 1, a macro focus game between these two players. And by the way, a couple of the best Zerg players out there in the world, may I mention. But game number 1 was more of a macro focus game that ended up turning into, a timing attack by Dark that was a Nidus network push, and it ended up kind of not working at first, but Dark was very patient and just slowly but surely was able to overwhelm Solar's bases. And so that was kind of game number 1, right, a macro focus game. Then we get into game number 2, and Solar decides to go for a very quick spawning pool, and he goes for a complete and utter cheese on his opponent. So he cheesed Dark extremely hard in game number 2, but Dark was able, with some good defense and some good micro, was able to kind of withstand that push that Solar had. And so Dark has been able to take a quick 2-0 lead over Solar, and now Solar has got his back against the wall. What are you going to do in this current situation? Well, it seems like he is going to be playing, most likely, a macro-focused game here, because what we're going to see is a hatch gas pool opener with a quick third hatchery going up. The same can be said for Dark. So both players, I think now, it's going to be interesting. I think it kind of looks like both players are kind of going to most likely play somewhat of a macro-focused game. Not to say that there's not going to be any cheeses or any timing attacks, which I'm sure there will be plenty of that in the ZvZ matchup, because there's a lot of that as there is. But it's very, I like the move by Solar, to be honest, of staying aggressive, being aggressive in game number 2, trying to take a map off of Dark. But when you're going up against one of the best Zerg players in the world, it's very difficult to do that and to actually get away with it. So it's one of those things. I like the aggression, though, by Solar. I really think that he needs to be the one in this game to take the fight to Dark. Because if you allow Dark to really just dictate the pace of the game, you can just kind of almost guarantee that you're going to have to GG out at some point or another, because he is just going to out-macro you throughout, at some point or another. So you really just got to take the fight to him and try to win the small battles that you can. So it'll be interesting. It looks like, very up at the top left-hand corner, very similar on the production tabs. Does look like we are going to see Dark going for that Roach Warren. And so he's going to be going for the Roach Warren. We're going to see both players going for that metabolic boost upgrade, which, of course, is the Zergling speed upgrade, the most standard upgrade for a Zerg player. And it looks like the same can be said now for Solar. He's going to be going for that Roach Warren as well. So we're probably going to see Ling Roach possibly move into Ravengers if they, depending on which player ends up going for their lair. Or maybe we'll see Hydra. It's hard to say, at least at this point. A nice little scout here by Solar, seeing kind of what's going on. It's all about that scouting information. It's a massive chess matchup between these two players. And of course, these players really know the styles of one another. They know what each other kind of does, generally speaking, in these games. So it's always about trying to outsmart your opponent in the ZvZ matchup. So it does look like Dark is now going to go ahead and get his evolution chambers. He's going to probably start getting those +1 upgrades going for the ground-based units. The same can be said now for Solar. We are going to see a second one going down. So +1/+1 we are going to see probably out of Dark. It looks like Dark's going to wall this off so that those Zerglings cannot get in there as of yet. We are going to see the Zerglings, though, moving towards that third base location of Dark. And here we go. It does look like do not want to overcommit here, because you could lose all of those in the touch of a button, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, you know, we're approaching that 5-minute mark. Looks pretty standard on both sides of the map. Nothing terribly out of the ordinary yet. We're going to see both players also, I mean, they're really kind of almost reading each other's minds at this point, as both players are going for those layers. So we're going to see those higher tier layer-based units coming in. I'm assuming we might be seeing Ravagers, possibly Hydras would be interesting. Maybe we'll even see a Spire like we did in game number 1 out of Solar. That said, these Zerglings were able to make it into the main base location. They are going to be able to get a couple of kills for their troubles, but they are going to be cleaned up here relatively quickly before any kinds of critical losses are taken. Now we are going to see Katowice Carapace coming in and being researched for Solar, which of course is the Overlord speed. It's actually one of my favorite upgrades for the Zerg pieces. Love having, you know, the speed of the Overlords to really get some good scouting information, because it's all about scouting. That's what the matchup is all about, or really what StarCraft 2 is all about, is knowing exactly what your opponent's doing. And if you can find those things out sooner than later, of course, that's a nice advantage. That said, we are going to see Glad Reconstitution that's going to be researched here for Solar as well. So he's starting to ramp up that production as he is going for that 4th hatchery at this point. Katowice Carapace is going to be finishing up, as well as missile attacks level 1 for Solar. And both players really give each other a lot of respect at this point. They're giving each other a lot of, you know, really well-deserved respect, and that's what I like to see. I'm excited to see who's going to get the advantage here, but I would love to see our Red Zerg player Solar go for start getting a little bit aggressive, and I think that's what he is going to need to do if he wants to win this matchup against Dark. So it looks like the army compositions as of right now are mainly Roaches. Seeing a couple of Zerglings here and there, but for the most part, it is Roaches. That's pretty much that's pretty much the composition. You're starting to see some Queens as well, that are going to be good for, of course, that that stellar defense. Glad Reconstitution's just finishing up now for Solar, and so now we're seeing a lot of these units are starting to move across the map. We're starting to see the Ravagers are going to be coming in now for Dark. So it looks like Roaches, Ravagers is what the unit composition is going to be here for Dark. And then Solar, same thing, essentially. It looks like Glad Reconstitution missile attacks are going to be finishing up a little bit later for Dark. So he's a little bit behind of the upgrade count, and that's making me a little bit concerned currently. Because we already have +2 coming in of those missile attacks for Solar, and when those finish up, it's going to be kind of scary. Now, we are going to see a transition here by Solar, and I love this. We are going to see none other than the Nidus Worm once again, but it looks like this Nidus Worm is going to be taken out before it even gets started, and here we go. Dark is on top of it. Beautiful defense by Dark. It's all going to come down to the engagements, though, and here we go. It's all about the strength in numbers, as Solar really wants to take the fight to him, and now that Dark does know that the Nidus network is out, here we go. We are going to start seeing most likely some Queens, maybe even more Roaches coming out. And Dark is on top of it, though. Dark is playing very well right now, getting aggressive and not allowing that Nidus Worm to do much at all. But the Nidus Worm, once again, is coming to that main base location. And this is exactly what Solar wants to do. He wants to put that pressure on, not allow Dark to get comfortable. Keep the pressure going. The fight is still happening in the middle of the map. Missile attacks level 2 is going to be finishing up here in less than 10 seconds for Solar. And now we're seeing the Dropper Lords. Solar is really pulling out all of the, very interesting builds, like, some of those, aggressive builds. And I really like it. It's really starting to put that pressure on. And here we go. Dark, is he overextending here? He might very well be. I don't know if I like this decision by Dark. I think he might have overstayed his welcome a little bit. Those bios are landing, but it does look like Solar has the strength in numbers as of right now. Now he's going to be able to chase Dark back to his own base, and very interesting play here as we see another Nidus Worm is going to be coming in here for Solar, and I think this is really to keep his opponent at bay here. And here we go once again. Vials are coming down, and it does look like both players at 200 supply right now, at that supply, full supply, and here we go. It does look like both players jostling back and forth right now, and you're going to notice that a lot in these matchups But here we go. It does look like once again in the middle of the map, Dark and Solar both trying to see who can get the advantage, and I don't know. Is Solar going to be able to get this Nidus Worm out? It looks like there might very well be a chance that this happens. It is going to get out, and it looks like there are going to be a few of those roaches are going to be able to come out of that Nidus Worm, but nothing too crazy as of yet. Here we go, though. Looks like once again Solar is trying to kind of really deal as much damage as he possibly can here. He does not want Dark to get comfortable. And now we are going to see the transition. We're going to see Burrow being researched. We're also going to see that missile attacks level 2 finishing up here for Dark. And Burrow's finishing up in less than 10 seconds. But there are just things happening all over the map. The reinforcements are coming in. We're going to see once again another Nidus Worm coming in once again. And Dark does see this coming. It looks like he's going to try to get right on top of that. And this is really interesting. I really like this decision making by Solar. Trying to keep Dark guessing. Where are these Nidus Worms? Where are they going to be coming from? And now it looks like Solar, it might be planning a surround on his opponent. I love this decision a lot. Here we go. Could the surround be coming in? There's a good possibility as Solar once again is trying to get trying to get an advantage here. And that Nidus Worm is going to go down once again. But looks like Solar now wants to move back home as we approach that 11.5-minute mark. The Spire's going down for Dark as now we're seeing the transition into the Hydralisk Den for Solar. And looks like now we're going to see Dark moving across the map once again. Looks like he once again wants to be somewhat aggressive and do what he can to maybe try to take out this third base location that's fourth base location of Solar. We're going to see Burrow being researched now as well for Solar. And, I mean, it's just really, it's very interesting. We are going to see, once again, that Nidus Worm is going to be going down right where that next hatchery is going to be. And here we go. The fight is going to continue in the middle of the map. This has been a real central location of the fight. And now we're going to see these roaches are going to try to get the cancel on this 5th hatchery. They do exactly that, but now they're going to start moving up into the 4th base location. They're going to try to do a little bit of some damage, and here comes Solar. Solar is starting to try to do a little bit of damage in multiple areas. Burrow is being used on a few of those roaches here. Beautiful play by Solar. He is really starting to create some problems for Dark. He's going to go straight for that main base location, and this could actually do some damage. Here comes the Nidus Worm, and once again, they're trying to chase down Solar's army all the way back home, which is a bunch of Mutalisks, which was a great transition. But once again, we are seeing Dark. He is being tested right now. There's not a lot here that's really going to be able to do a good amount of damage. So this is some beautiful play by Dark. He is really starting to do a little bit of some damage to this army. And here we go. We're seeing a lot of these units now. Beautiful micro here by Solar. He's even utilizing Burrow on those drones. And once again, it's really just coming down to back and forth between these players. I like where Dark stands now, that he's starting to do a little bit of some damage. He's starting to get some of those Hydras for his troubles. And you just got to be careful. You don't want to lose all of these units. That is for sure. But both players, once again, almost at that 200 supply once again. We are going to start seeing, some more of these Dropper Lords. We're seeing, these Lurkers. Ground Carapace level 2 finishes up now for Dark. And he just feels like he's been a little bit behind of the upgrade count. But here we go. It looks like Dark is hitting in multiple angles at once because he's got all of those Mutalisks in that natural base location. But I just don't know. Is there going to be enough here for Dark at this point? As Evolve, Muscular Augments, Tunneling Claws, and Ground Carapace level 2 are all finishing up here in the next 5 seconds for Solar. And it just feels like he's been ahead when it comes to the upgrade count. But here we go. trying to get that 5th base location. It does look like Solar is going to jump right on this army of Roaches and Ravagers. He is going to start chasing them down. He is doing some damage. Beautiful player, and those biles are actually landing as well. But it does look like Solar, he has started losing a little bit of that supply as we are approaching that 15-minute mark in this game. What a back and forth engagement between these two players. The Lurkers are burrowing. It looks like they are going to lose one of those, or Solar's going to lose one of those. Solar's behind, but he's certainly not out of this game just yet. I mean, you can just tell that there is absolutely no way he's out of this. One good engagement, and this could completely, you know, change the tide of this game. And here come more Roaches into that natural and main base location, and they could do a little bit of some damage here to some of these Roaches. That looks exactly what they're doing. If the station pit is going down, it looks like Dark very well may be transitioning into going for Lurkers, but he's also looks like he's going to be maybe going towards those higher tier hive-based units. And here comes another Nidus Worm, and this is what Solar's been doing all game, and I actually really like what he is doing. He is absolutely keeping, you know, Dark at bay somewhat. And here comes another Nidus Worm. It just looks like what Solar's trying to do is he's trying to create problems for Dark. He's trying to make Dark split up his army in multiple areas, and this is how you beat Dark. This is how you could potentially grab a game off of Dark, is by throwing him off, by forcing him to split up his armies. That could very well be a way to make it happen. Now we are going to see another Nidus Worm coming in somewhat near this 5th base location. You're going to have to kind of keep an eye on that. Those Lurkers are in a good position, so it's all going to come down to these engagements, though. This is where it's going to get very interesting. We are going to see another Nidus Worm. We're going to see more and more Roaches coming in, but this is what Solar's been doing all game long. He's moving towards that 5th base location, and it looks like at this point we are going to see more and more Roaches. I really feel that Solar he was just trying to, you know, do so much. He could have done more damage than he is right now, but he's just, you know, trying to focus on a lot of different things at once. Now this base, the 5th base, did go down. We're going to have to kind of keep track of that. But just a lot of damage is being dealt now over in that natural base location. Another Nidus Worm's going down. We are going to see, okay, it looks like these Lurkers did get caught off guard a little bit. They are going to have to burrow here shortly, but yeah, just so much damage is just being dealt. It looks like if these Roaches, they do end up getting that Hydralisk Den, that is actually a massive pickup there. And now we're going to start seeing even, you know, the hives are going to be coming in for both players. Wow, this is just an insane matchup as we approach that 18-minute mark between these two players. Absolutely back and forth engagements. But I really feel that Solar has done really well so far. Actually, you know, kind of just keeping Dark on his toes at this point. And it looks like Solar very well might start moving in here. He is moving down once again towards that 5th base location. And here we go. These engagements are absolutely insane because it just is all coming down to they're, you know, splitting up their army so well. I mean, this is such hard. It takes so much skill, guys, to do what these guys are doing. They are just completely managing multiple things at once. And, you know, and that's what makes StarCraft 2 the most difficult game in the world to really play. But Solar is everywhere. Look at Solar. He is everywhere, but at the same time, you see Dark. He is as well. But, you know, I feel like there's more defense at home there for Solar than there is for Dark. Unreal, guys. This has been an incredible game between these two. And, I mean, this is Solar knows. I mean, it's all on the line right here. If he loses here, it is over. It is game over. He has no chance at moving onwards to, you know, the semifinals here at the IEM Katowice, and he's playing like it's all on the line right here because it really is. He is doing a lot of damage now. He's got a pretty good angle, but the question is it going to be enough, as there is just a lot of units that are trying to pounce on this army. The Vipers are out, but there is still a lot of damage that's coming in. Dark supply is going down, but is there an overextension here? The bios come down, and oh my god, it looks like Dark's army is starting to crumble here as those Vipers are being target fired down as well. Somehow, some way, the Lurkers and everything are really doing a lot of damage. The Hydralisks are doing a lot of damage as well. Beautiful play here so far by Solar. It's not over yet. Solar's got to be very careful. He does not want to overextend here. It looks like more and more units are going to be coming down. They are starting to go after that 5th base location. Finally, Dark does clean this up. There's more units that are moving. It does look like there were some units that just ran to their deaths there. And it looks like these Lurkers are in just a beautiful position. They are just going to take out so many of these units, as in Roaches and Hydras. So beautiful play there by Dark, kind of trying to, try to get back a little bit into this game, which he absolutely is at this point. And it looks like he's going for a counterattack. We are going to start seeing Vipers coming in now for Solar. It's all about positioning, though, on these Lurkers. These Lurkers are going to try to get into a good position here. But it looks like right now Solar's trying to regroup his army. He does not want to take this engagement. Solar's in a nice spot now to possibly or potentially take this 4th base location. Looks like he is going absolutely after. Here come the abducts, though, by those Vipers. They are going to get those. They are going to get a few of those Lurkers. Beautiful play there by Solar, kind of softening up this army right now as he's hitting at the opposite side of the map once again. He has just units all over the place doing damage. But that 4th base location does go down. And now you're wondering, is the tide turning for Dark? Because Dark knows what's on the line here. He just wants to close this thing out. He does not want this to go any longer. He wants to finish this thing out. And, I mean, I would as well. But Solar will not go away. He is continuing to do damage here on the opposite side of the map. He's forcing Dark to come all the way back home, which is his long, these, like, just long journeys across the map. And now we're seeing Solar. He's now moving across the map, and it's just been back and forth, back and forth. Those +3 upgrades are starting to come in as well. And here we go. The abducts are coming in. Beautiful abducts on those Vipers. They're not able to take those down. That would have been absolutely devastating if those abducts would have ended up, really costing Dark. But Dark is starting to take a nice lead here as he is kind of just essentially swallowing this army whole. Here we go. Dark is starting to take a nice little lead here. I really like this by Dark. But is he going to overextend once again, though, is the question. Is he going to overextend? I'm saying, like, overextend again as if he already did, which he really has not overextended as of yet. But here we go. It looks like Dark wants to go in for the killing blow here as we have a group of Roaches that are burrowed going across the map for Solar. Here come more abducts. They are going to try to get more and more of these units. Here we go. Is Dark overextending? It looks like, as of right now, he is going to start target firing down this this natural base location. I don't know if he's going to get it, though. I feel like there might have been a little bit of an overextension here by Dark, and somehow, some way, Solar is back in the driver's seat of this game. Missile attacks level 3 completes for Solar, and now, who's got the advantage? I gotta say, I feel like Solar does, but it feels like there's slight overextensions on both sides of the map by both players. I mean, it just really does. I mean, we passed that 23.5-minute mark, and now you're in the late game here. And here we go. Is there going to be another overextension by one of these players? More abducts there. Oh, I just don't know if I like that Solar is really trying to push this at this point. I just don't know if he's going to have enough here. Now, those biles do land really well. And here we go. The blinding clouds are going to be coming in as well. And I just don't know. It looks like the drones are pulled off the line here. And Dark Supply is continuing to plummet. GG is called. And Solar, just like that, gets on the scoreboard. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Dark and Solar. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for news, stay positive. And I'll see you guys all in game number 4. Alrighty everyone, well game number 4 in this best of 5 series finds us on Karos Junction LE. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently up in the series and wants to close out this series right here and right now. His name is Dark. And his opponent, spawning in the cross position, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He got on the scoreboard and wants to tie up this series and go on to try to win a trip to the semifinals at the IEM Katowice. His name is Solar. So, guys and girls, this series has been absolutely intense. We've had cheese, we have had some incredible, just macro focus games, and it looks like right now Dark's going for a very quick spawning pool, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But this series has been absolutely intense and has been a lot of fun to watch and cast. I mean, there's just been moments that have been those big wow moments where I almost forget to continue casting because it's just a holy cow kind of moment, if you know what I mean. There's just been so many moments like that in this series, and you can just tell that these players are they are trying so hard, because this is, arguably the second biggest tournament of the year to BlizzCon, and so these players are they're playing their hearts out, and you could just tell in that last game especially, Solar just was trying his heart out the entire game. You could see he was pouring his everything into it to obtain victory in that game, and he was able to. It was very well deserved. He was put on consistent pressure, and that's exactly what he needs to do in this game. But it looks like Dark has other ideas, because he's going to put on the aggression right now with these Zerglings. He wants to put on the aggression right here, right now. He wants to start target firing down that natural base location. There are a bunch of drones that were pulled off the line to try to deal with this. There is a lot of Zerglings, though, that are down here that are trying to get this natural expansion. That would be a massive pickup if Solar is able to get it. If Dark is able to get that natural expansion, that would be huge for Dark. Looks like Dark is kind of just waiting. There's some lost mining time here for Solar. So here we go. It does look like it's going to come down to the micro here. And Dark looks like he might need to go on home. And Solar is able to save that natural expansion for another day. And now the transition comes in. That natural expansion for Dark, followed up with some queens here. So some nice defense there by Solar. Looks like Solar is going to move across the map and just see if there's a timing on that third hatchery. Just see if that third hatchery is down as of yet. But these queens are going to be here to deal with any types of aggression that comes across the map. And just like that, both players are kind of starting to drone up here. So it was a hatch gas pool opener out of Solar. Pretty standard, of course, for him. And I think he just wants to go back into doing what he did in game number 3. He wants to just go back into probably a macro-focused game where he is going to just try to, outplay Dark again. And, it's easier said than done when you're talking about one of the best Zerg players on the planet in Dark. It is not an easy ordeal. You can, a lot of times you can beat Dark once. Maybe even beat him twice, but can you beat him 3 times? That's where it gets very difficult. And we can talk about with Solar and Stats and some of these other incredible players. It's hard to beat him 3 times. Solar's got to do it 2 more times. He's got to do it in a row. So we are going to see an Evolution Chamber as well as a Roach one that is going to come down here for Solar. And we're going to see the lair's going to be coming in now for Solar as well. So instead of getting that third hatchery yet, it looks like he is going to go ahead and get that lair out so we can get those higher tier lair-based units. We are going to see Dark. He's going to get, like I said, that Roach Warren as well as the Evolution Chamber. And it looks like he has not started his lair as of yet. I wonder if he's going to be going for a little bit of a timing attack here, because we are going to see a lot of Zerglings and Roaches on that production tab. This should be interesting how this one plays out, as we're going to see that Medic Bullet Boost is going to be finishing up here shortly for Dark. Solar, the lair is up. And it does look like Glowry Constitution is being researched right now, and then the Flyer attacks level 1 is being researched as well for Solar. But I'm wondering with Dark. Dark looks like he is planning on getting aggressive again, and I like this. I really do. I like that Dark is planning on getting a little bit aggressive here. He's starting to move across the map here with a good amount of roaches as well as Zerglings. Metabolic boost is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds now for Dark, and here we go. There's going to be more aggression, and this is exactly what Dark lacked in game number 3. He wants to change that here as that third hatchery is going down. Can he get the cancel on it is the big question. And he does exactly that, and that is exactly what you want to do if you are Dark at this point. He is definitely going to want to do some more damage as we are approaching that 6-minute mark in this game. He's going to start to go after that this evolution chamber. If he can get that, that would be a nice pickup here for Dark, as that is just about to be researched. They are going to send those transfuses in there. It looks like Dark is going to get it. A massive pickup as missile attacks level 1 is denied by Solar, or by Dark, I should say. And it looks like the Surround is going to try to come in here. Dark is trying to do a good amount of damage early on in this game. A little bit of some nice micro there, but it looks like Dark is doing a good amount of damage. I don't know if it's going to be quite enough right now, as it looks like Dark is going to have to back off and head across the map, as Glowry Constitution did finish up there for Solar. And so just like that, Dark, though, is going to be already on his third hatchery at this point. And then on top of that, you know, he got that cancel by Solar, and that's a big deal. But we are going to see the transition by Solar. He is going to go into the Spire play. He put down that evolution chamber back down. He's now going to try once again to get missile attacks level 1 researched. And now we're going to see more and more Zerglings coming in. We're also going to see some Ravagers as well. So ground carapace level 1 finished up. We're going to see a macro hatchery in that main base location for Dark. And I think Dark is once again going to go for a push here. It would not surprise me one bit, and I think it would be a good decision to just continue onward with the aggression here. I think Solar, he knows something's up. He wants to try to have as many units out here as possible if there's going to be an attack, which it absolutely is coming right now. We are going to see roaches as well as Ravagers moving across the map here, going after that third base location once again. Is Dark setting up a surround? And it looks like he absolutely is. He wants the surround here on all these units, and that's exactly what he's going to do. A beautiful play here by Dark, and this could be absolutely devastating for Solar here. Could this be the end? This could be it for a trip to the IEM Katowice semi-final, the round of 4. Is Dark there? Is he destined to be there? Because he is doing a ton of damage right now. Solar supply is starting to plummet. He's not out of it just yet, because now we are going to see the Mutalisks are out on the playing field. Missile attacks level 1 is going to be finishing up here, but more and more Zerglings, Roaches, Ravagers are moving into the natural base location, and they are being followed up by more and more units. These Mutalisks are doing a good amount of damage, but is there just going to be too much damage dealt to the mineral line of Solar? Solar is taking a lot of damage. His supply is starting to plummet. So many Zerglings moving into the main base location. Oh my god, it is a drone destruction. Oh my god. So much damage is being dealt right now. Dark is everywhere. He has Zerglings all over the place in the natural and the main base location. Can Solar hold on a little bit longer as we pass that 9-minute mark? Dark wants to end it right here. He does not want this to go to a game 5. There are a lot of mutas out, though, and I think this is finally going to get cleaned up, but that third hatchery went down once again for Solar, and now I'm really concerned because Solar's going to be in a tough spot. He really is. There is a lot of queens now moving across the map. I think Dark is fed up and wants this thing over right now. There is no doubt in my mind he wants it done and over with right now. as so many units are starting to move across the map here. I think Solar is, I just don't know. How is he going to be able to hold against this? The mutas are moving across the map, but we're probably, you know, we're seeing the spore crawlers out. Dark is now on the takeover. GG is called, and Dark wins this series against Solar and moves on to the semifinal at the IEM in Katowice. I hope you guys did enjoy this game and this series between Solar and Dark. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive. And as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.